Let me see if I still got it. Let me see if I can make something shake because I've been gone for a minute. So without further ado, in one, two. Hey yo! What's good, everybody? For those that don't know who I am, allow me to introduce myself. For those that already know who I am, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Jordan Phoenix, but y'all can just call me JP for short. And you are now watching/listening to JPWR. That's Jordan's Pro Wrestling Reviews. All right, y'all. So, like I said, it's been a minute. I've been gone for a minute. I actually uploaded a Degrassi video a while back, but it's time to get back to the wrestling, man. And y'all might be surprised as this is my first and probably last, I hate to say it, AEW video. And I say last because Tony Khan needs his ass kicked. This man does not know how to run the company. As y'all saw in the title and the thumbnail, today's video is about the worst championship in professional wrestling history, and that, in my opinion, is the TNT title. Now, I say this video is about the worst championship in wrestling, which once again, is the TNT championship. But let's kind of reword that. Let's look at the history of the TNT championship. The only reason I say it's the worst is because I hate how creative and Tony Khan up there in AEW booked this title. They always hot potato it between all these wrestlers. And don't get me wrong, they're talented people. They're very talented wrestlers. But something needs to be done and something needs to be said. I don't know why these wrestlers always agree to winning the title. But when Wardlow won the title from Powerhouse Hobbs, that's what really made me say, okay, something needs to be said. It's time for me to stand up and make this video because I see the comments in their YouTube videos and stuff about people who have this hatred that I have for the TNT title. And it's time we start speaking up, which we already have, but nobody's listening. Because Tony Khan has always just been a man with money to me. Tony Khan is that rich kid who you know at school that he always has, you know, the money and the good things. And sometimes he'll just, not even sometimes, all the times he'll buy stuff just to show you, hey, I can buy this and I have nice things because I'm rich. But Tony Khan needs to do better, man, because when I look at AEW, that's how he treats AEW. He just has this money and he'll sign the hottest free agent and then bury them, because we've seen that with the likes of Keith Lee, Andrade, Malachi Black, and the list goes on to where he'll sign all these talented wrestlers, and then we think, oh, you know, this is their comeuppance. This, you know, they're gonna have, you know, a way to shine that they didn't on the main roster. But as we, you know, see, that doesn't happen. He just signs them just to say, hey, I have money, I can sign these people. And then with this creative stuff, I don't understand why Tony Khan would book a title like that, because don't get me wrong, the TNT title can probably be one of the best championships in AEW if they actually book it right and have these people who win it have, you know, some credible reigns, like some incredible reigns with it. But it was something I was going to say and my mind just went blank. I don't understand how Tony Khan has all these veterans in AEW. You have the likes of Paul White, The Big Show, Mark Henry, Road Dogg, Chris Jericho, Tony Schiavone. You have all these veterans, people who've been in the game for years, Sting even, and it seems like you would go to them and ask them like, hey, what's some, you know, ideas or what's some things we can do to make AEW watchable and make it better? What can we do to make this company actually seem like competition to the other side? And when I say the other side, we all know what that is. It's WWE, of course. And don't get me wrong, WWE does some things that, you know, seem whack. Vince McMahon, to be more specific. But, you know, if you have so many people of that caliber in your company, it seems like somebody would put their foot down and tell Tony something. But I imagine when they do, Tony just slides them a couple $1,000,000 and then they shut up. But even with the wrestlers, man, like sometimes you might want to ask your wrestlers what are they comfortable with doing? What are they not comfortable with doing? Because personally, if I was in AEW and let's say if I was Powerhouse Hobbs, you know, and I had won the TNT championship, and then a few days later, you know, Tony comes up to you, or, you know, creative, whoever he has come up to you, hey, you're going to lose the TNT championship to Wardlow once again, even though you haven't even held the title for like a month. Come on now, that would make you upset too, right? I would be upset. And if I was Wardlow, I wouldn't have agreed to have taken the title off of Hobbs, because we've seen the TNT championship go back and forth. I want to say it started with Sammy Guevara and Cody Rhodes. That's when this all started, because it went back and forth, the Sammy and Cody. Then, as we all know, Cody left because he went to WWE to finish the story that his father never did. But let's be real, he really left because he saw how shit his company was, and he wasn't going to be a part of any of that. But anyways, after that, we saw it go back and forth between Sammy and Scorpio. Then Wardlow came into the mix, and then we saw it go back and forth between Wardlow and Samoa Joe, and then they put it on Darby for a little bit. But of course, Joe won it back once again, just for Wardlow to win it back, lose it to Hobbs, and then Hobbs lost it to Wardlow once again. Like, that's so stupid. But let me stop ranting about that, because at this point, I'm probably starting to sound like a broken record. As I do in all my videos, I tend to repeat stuff a lot. So we're just going to move on to it. And we're going to look at the history of the TNT Championship. And you'll begin to see a cycle of how short these reigns are. You may have one or two reigns that reached 100 days, I believe. I could be wrong. But this is still sad. AEW has a lot of talent. But there's something that's not being done right. And I say that like we don't know what it is, but we do know what it is. First of all, you have shit EVPs. Don't get me wrong, they're phenomenal wrestlers, but I feel like you shouldn't be a wrestler and an EVP at the same time, because if you're attacking your wrestlers because you're upset about something they said and you're supposed to be an EVP, that's a bad example for the people in the back. And I'm throwing shots at the whole CM Punk and Elite situation. And then we look at, they're talking about brand splitting. You don't even have enough talent for that. And it's sad because the rumor going around is the people that want to work with CM Punk are going to be on this show on Saturday nights called Collision, and the people that don't want to work with him are going to be on Dynamite. That is embarrassing if you have to split your wrestlers up. These are grown people at that. Grown people because, oh, I don't want to work with this guy, or, oh, I do want to work with this guy. If AEW can learn to put their problems, to the side and actually be like, hey, people want to see CM Punk versus Kenny Omega. Yeah, we don't like each other, but I'm pretty sure we're two grown men. We can get together and say, hey, let's do this match because this will be our money match. That could probably be the one match that changes the whole game for AEW. And then they can put them on the map. But no, they don't want to do that. So, I think I'm done with that rant. Let's just get into the history. May 23rd, 2020, we begin this horrible reign of this title named the TNT Championship with Cody Rhodes. Don't get me wrong, Cody Rhodes is a phenomenal wrestler, but I'm just going to read what the bio says, as y'all can see in the picture. Cody Rhodes, the inaugural AEW champion, inaugural champion in Jacksonville, Florida on May 23rd, 2020 at the AEW Double or Nothing pay-per-view event. Cody defeated Lance Archer to become the inaugural AEW TNT champion, which was presented by Iron Man Mike Tyson. Oh boy. As y'all can see in this picture, look at the days of the reigns that these people have had. Cody's first reign didn't even reach 100 days. It was at 91. Then August 22nd, we see he lost it to Mr. Brody Lee. Rest in peace to him. Mr. Brody Lee captured the TNT Championship on a special edition of AEW Saturday Night Dynamite on August 22nd, 2020 in Jacksonville, Florida at the Daily's Place. Mr. Brody Lee defeated the inaugural TNT champion Cody Rhodes in the main event of the evening via pinfall. Look at his reign, 46 days, because as we all know, Cody buried him in a dog collar match on October 7, 2020. And let me read what it says. Cody had recaptured the TNT Championship for the second time on a special edition of AEW Dynamite 30 Years of Jericho on October 7, 2020 in Jacksonville, Florida at the Daily's Place. Cody had defeated the Exalted when Mr. Brody Lee in AEW's first ever dog collar match. Now, once again, look at these reigns. Cody's first inaugural reign was 91 days. That's a pretty short reign. Mr. Brody Lee, 46 days. That's a short reign. Cody Rhodes, 31 days. That's literally a month plus 1 day. And I also want to apologize for my reading. I'm not the best reader, but I'm doing YouTube, so that will probably help me improve as I go. But anyways, y'all get what I'm trying to say, man. I'm stuttering a lot. I suck at reading, but I'm going to be myself regardless, man. I'm going to work on this editing and stuff. So, on to the next, as I should say. Okay. Look, now we're talking. Now we're getting to reigns that reach 100 days. And don't get me wrong. Once again, like I said, all these wrestlers are very talented. It's not them I'm mad at. It's Tony Khan and whoever he has in creative. They're the ones doing the bad job. And I do want to point out, all this information is on AEW's website. This is where I found all the information. It'll show you, all the championship reigns from, all the belts they have. But anyways, let's get back to the topic. November 7th, 2020. Darby Allin had won his first ever AEW's title. Excuse me. Let's start over with that. Darby Allin had won his first ever AEW title by winning the TNT Championship on November 7th, 2020 at the second annual AEW Full Gear pay-per-view in Jacksonville, Florida at the Daily's Place. Darby Allin became the new face of TNT by defeating Cody Rhodes via pinfall. His reign, 186 days. That is a pretty decent reign for, a phenomenal wrestler. And if y'all seen Darby Allin now in 2023, he is on top of his game. He has improved in his promos. He's always been great in the ring, and I've just been enjoying seeing him But once again, let me get back to the topic of the video. Muro, May 12th, 2021, 140 days. Once again, that's another, decent reign. We finally got 100 days. Muro won the TNT Championship on May 12th, 2021, in the main event of AEW Dynamite in Jacksonville, Florida, at the Daily's Place. Muro defeated Darby Allin in a singles match via submission to capture his first ever title in AEW. One thing I noticed about this, it's a lot of title changes going on at the Daily Place. If I was Wardlow and they'd be like, hey, you're going to defend the title against such and such at the Daily Place, this week, next week, whatever day it may be, I'll be dripping sweat right now because I'd be like, oh, time to hot potato the title once again. But, anyways, Sammy Guevara on the September 29th, 2021 episode of AEW Dynamite dedicated to the late, great Mr. Brody. Once again, rest in peace. I love you, Brody. You were one of my, favorite wrestlers of this generation. Sammy Guevara defeated Muro in the main event via pinfall from the Blue Cross Arena in Manchester, New York. Sammy Guevara had ended Muro's 140-day reign and had captured his first ever championship in AEW. His reign, 87 days. But don't worry, because this is when the title starts going back and forth. So, let's look at this whole crap show. I'm trying not to cuss. This is a PG channel, but AEW and Tony Khan really knows how to stress a guy out. So, let's get on to the next chapter. Here we are with the next chapter, and this, once again, is back to Cody Rhodes. And if I'm not mistaken, this was his last reign in AEW because I can't remember if it was Cody or Sammy or somebody got injured. I can't really remember, but I just remember it was for, like, one of them was the interim champion and the other one was the actual champion, if I'm not mistaken. And they had a big ladder match, or maybe I'm overthinking it or thinking too far ahead. But anyways, Cody Rhodes captured the TNT Championship for the third time in the main event of a special edition of AEW Rampage Holiday Bash. The event took place on December 25th, 2021 in Greensboro, North Carolina at the historic Greensboro Coliseum, and that is where he defeated Sammy Guevara to gain the title for 32 days. That is a month plus 2 days. Come on now, that's sad. Then, January 26, 2022, Sammy Guevara won the TNT Championship on January 26, 2022 on a special edition of AEW Dynamite Beach Break in Cleveland, Ohio at the Wolstein Center. Sammy Guevara, who was the interim champion. Okay, I was right. He was the interim champion. He was the interim TNT champion at that time, defeated Cody Rhodes in a brutal ladder match to unify the TNT titles. But he only held it for 42 days. That is sad. What I don't understand. Why can't we just give these wrestlers some good range? If when you have a title in a company, I'm pretty sure this is for I'm not even sure. This is, any company out there. When you have these titles, you want to put them on credible wrestlers who can actually build the title up. Build the title up so people can enjoy it. I shouldn't have to be making a video about, this. I'm just, quote, as CM Punk would say, I'm being the voice of the voiceless, because what y'all doing with that title now up there is, whew, boy, I don't think there's enough bad words to describe the condition AEW is in right now. But let me stop getting off topic. March 9th, 2022, Scorpio Sky became the TNT Championship on March 9th, 2022 in the main event of AEW Dynamite. The event took place in Fort Myers, Florida at the Harts Arena. Scorpio Sky defeated Sammy Guevara via pinfall in the main event and became the first ever person to hold the TNT Championship and AEW Tag Team Championship. And I remember when Scorpio won this, I was so happy for him because I'm a Scorpio fan, and it was nice to see him finally get his shine. But where's the bad part, you ask? Look at that reign, 38 days. That's literally a month plus a week and a day. A month plus 8 days. That is sad for such a talented wrestler. But let's get on to the next chapter and look at how horrible this title has declined. Was it even good when it came out? Remember, they didn't even finish making the actual title when it first came out. They just released let's call it the prototype, and then they finally made an actual belt down the line. But anyways, let's get to the next chapter and look at all these other horrible reigns. And once again, let me say it. I just want to state it. It's not the wrestlers I'm hating. It's these reigns I'm hating and the way they're being booked. Because what's the point of having somebody hold the title for, like, let's say a week just for them to drop it to somebody else? I wouldn't even consider that a reign. That's just sad, because you're basically just burying your wrestlers back and forth just to have them win it back when they could have just had one long reign to begin with to build the title up. You need to build the title up so we can get excited when somebody wins the championship. Nowadays, what I see when somebody wins the TNT Championship is like, why did he win it again? He just had it. Or, why did you have him lose it in the first place? You were just going to have him win it back. These are problems that could be easily solved. It's common sense. A toddler could even look at this and be like, hey, why don't we just have him keep the title instead of just having him lose it just to win it back? Now, if y'all haven't noticed already from the previous two reigns, this is when the title started going back and forth between Sammy and Scorpio. So on April 15th, 2022, Sammy Guevara won the TNT Championship on April 15th, 2022 at Battle of the Belts 2 in Garland, Texas at the Curtis Curvell Center. Sammy Guevara defeated Scorpio Sky in a singles match to become a three-time TNT champion. But look at this, 11 days. He held the title for 11 days. What was the point of having him win the title for 11 days just because all you can see, he lost the title to Scorpio Sky, to which Scorpio only held it for 70 days? Why couldn't you just have Scorpio hold the title for, the 70 days plus the amount of days he held it before that and then lose it to Sammy? But no, they want to give it to Sammy just for Scorpio to win it back. But anyways, after Scorpio, this is when Wardlow won it. So on July 6, 2022, on the July 6, 2022 episode of Dynamite, Wardlow defeated the two-time TNT champion Scorpio Sky in a street fight via pinfall from the Blue Cross Arena. Excuse me. Forgive my reading, y'all. I promise I'm not a bad reader. I think it's just because I'm getting used to this YouTube thing, but I promise I'm not a bad reader. In a street fight via pinfall from the Blue Cross Arena in Rochester, New York, Wardlow had ended Scorpio Sky's 70-day reign and had captured his first ever AEW championship. Now, I love how they point out that he ended his 70-day reign. Like, that's a long reign. That is not a long reign. But I got to give Wardlow and creative credit. He held the title for 136 days. So, I guess that's a decent reign. He reached over 100 days. But let's get to the next, line of AEW TNT champions. And I'm just sort of speechless at this moment because the way this title is just has me speechless. Now we're catching up to current times because this is catching up to when the whole Wardlow and Samoa Joe feud was going on, when they kept putting the title on Joe, and then Wardlow came back and got his little moment to shine. But we're gonna get into that later on in the video. Actually, not long. But anyways, on November 19th, 2022, at the annual AEW Full Gear pay-per-view, Samoa Joe defeated Wardlow and Powerhouse Hobbs in a three-way match by locking up Hobbs in the coquina clutch to make him submit. So, as y'all see, Samoa Joe won it, but look at how long he held it. 47 days, and that sucks considering how talented Samoa Joe is, because as we know, Samoa Joe is one of the best in the ring and also on the mic. I know he's getting a little, rusty and injury prone, but that's just, with old age, man. This is Samoa Joe back in his TNA and Ring of Honor days. He'll probably be the top star in AEW. But after that, Darby Allin won, and Darby Allin became the TNT champion on January 4th, 2023 at the New Year's edition of AEW Dynamite in his hometown of Seattle. And I actually remember this match. It was a pretty decent match. But look at how long Darby held it. 28 days, not even a month. And then, once again, Samoa Joe came back and they put the title back on Joe. Samoa Joe became a two-time TNT champion on February 1st, 2023 in the main event AEW Dynamite. Look at how long he held it. 32 days. A month plus 2 days. Why couldn't they just have Samoa Joe hold it for a long time, have the 32 days plus the 47 days, have that as one reign, and then have Darby win it? But even with the 32 days plus the 47 days, that would equal 79 days, which isn't even long either. So I don't know what to say. You have two talented wrestlers in Joe and Darby, and they kind of fumbled the bag with them. But like I said, Tony Khan is just a man with money. He just signs these people just to sign them, just to say that, hey, I can sign them, just so the other side, which is WWE and Impact too. Impact is very underrated. People hate on Impact a lot, but I actually love Impact. NXT included. He just kind of signs these people just so these other companies can't get them. That's what I feel like. And then he just kind of throw them off to the side. Hey, here's a couple $1 million, to do nothing. But anyways, let's get to the final chapter of this horrific title. Here we are, the final chapter for such a horrible title, and such a horrible owner in Tony Khan. But anyways, let me get back to the topic of the video once again. Wardlow came back and captured the title once again on March 5th, 2023. And I'm not going to kill y'all with my reading anymore because I need to improve on that when it comes to YouTube. But anyways, look at how long Wardlow held it. 3 days. You shouldn't even put the title on him if you want him to hold it for 3 days. But I guess the TNT Championship is more like for these little transitional champions and stuff. But I'm not really a fan of that because I feel like when wrestlers win a title, they truly deserve it. But it's up to creative and whatever Tony Khan says. But after that, we get Powerhouse Hobbs. Powerhouse Hobbs defeated Wardlow, and he held the title for 42 days. These are short reigns. And now currently to present day, Wardlow has it. So let's see how long Wardlow holds it as of today. I know he's still TNT champion. Personally, I don't watch AEW. I kept saying I was gonna watch it, but now I just keep up with it on their YouTube channel. But whoever is in charge of that isn't really good at that either because they post videos so late compared to WWE. WWE posted their videos right after the show ends. So who knows, man. But yeah, man, this might be my longest video yet. So, I'm gonna clap up for that, give myself a pat on the back for that. But, you know, with that said, man, there's the brief history of AEW's TNT Championship. In my opinion, the worst championship in professional wrestling history. And, that's my little rant about it as well. So I'm not going to say any more about it because at this point, I'll just be, repeating myself. And I'm not really a fan of repetition. But thank you to everybody that made it out this far, man. So with all that said, I'm just going to get into my outro. So there y'all have it. I'm gonna keep this outro nice and short. I do want to apologize for my reading once again, and I do know I talk a little fast and loud sometimes, but we improve on things as we go. But as always, man, if there's anything out there that y'all want to do in life, man, go out there and do it. And if there's nobody there to support you, I'll be your biggest supporter, man. And thank you, like I said, once again, thank you to everybody who made it out this far, man. Thank you to my fans. Y'all support means the world to me. Y'all what keeps me driving and stuff. But with that said, man, y'all have a good one. Y'all be safe. JP out.